do it. Let me just quickly go in here. I think people's like asking where the live is. Okay, I think that should do the trick. Let me just see. Boom. I think we're live, guys. We're live. Cool. Yeah, so we've got a special interview tonight. And yeah, it's actually William, and he's probably been a member, a SuperAgency member for the last 2 weeks or so. And I'm quite impressed with William's with his momentum and his traction and his intensity. And he kind of told me in the week or later, like after he joined, like he's quite William, what exactly do you do for Choreograph?
Right now, after COVID, I'm currently the operations exec at Choreograph.
Cool. So like I saw the message of that, and I started like putting a few things together, especially after getting messages like saying like he's getting clients on board, and I kind of put things together, especially on the phone calls we're having, and I'm like, man, this guy's got intensity, he's got like lots of drive. And I got a message yesterday of like him saying that he's got like 5 or 4 potential clients that he's onboarding. And I just like, it's quite amazing actually, because with a few of the SuperAgency students, like a few of you have gotten really good results, but like it's really, it's something that I want to really like encourage with some of the SuperAgency students and members with is really what it's going to take, what sort of momentum and intensity it's going to take to really make this thing happen, irrespective from kind of what your purpose is or what your mission is. And yeah, I just really like what you stand for. I like your values and your moral, the morals that you have, and I really like the purpose that you've got. And I really want to like basically pick your brain a little bit and just give you a platform to just share your heart, and also just some of the things that you're busy with, and more specifically also obviously with agency. And yeah, I'm really one thing that I want to make clear is like, please use this drive and this motivation and this inspiration wisely. Like, take this as inspiration and motivation, not to like go full out with working like 24/7. Make sure that you are using this to your benefit, but also to the benefit of your family. And that's one thing that I really want to make clear, and really want to just put emphasis on, because as an entrepreneur, like I tend to like work a lot. I can ask my wife, lots of 2 a.m., 3 a.m. nights, and it's all worth the cause. It's blood, sweat, and tears. But like there does come a point where even myself, I need to use wisdom. But yeah, William, I just really liked your balance. I just really liked your drive and your passion that you've got. And yeah, I just wanna yeah, just give you a platform to share your heart specifically on the success that you're getting.
Cool. Thanks, Rudy. And the feeling is likewise from my side. I enjoy, I mean, I must say, I mean, there's no, in this group, and from the people that I've dealt with, and including Okud and yourself, and there's no ego behind what you guys do. And I want to acknowledge that. And that's really what I enjoy. You know, in life, there's a lot of people that really, you know, they make you think that they know everything, etc. And I don't get the sense, although there's success with you guys, there's like you're always humble, and that I wanna commend you on that. I want to start off by saying 2 things. I'm not, if I jump from one topic to the other, it's because I'm thinking 100 things at the same time. So bear with me. And Rudy, I don't know, I mean, just stop me at any time if you like. I mean, I don't mind at all, because I often get that. I jump and I think about something and I want to clarify that, and then I come back to what I originally was saying. So I can sound a little bit of that I'm all over the place. And secondly, I just want to proclaim, I'm not an expert in what we do. I mean, I just maybe a little bit background about myself. I mean, I'm an accountant by trade. I'm not the hopefully you can see that and everything, because I think, and no disrespect, I never saw myself as being an accountant, because I mean, I just landed up in that career, and many of us land up in careers, you know, we're not there because it's our passion, etc. But over the years, I've always been an individual that stick my nose into everything, because I've got this motto in life is, if I spend enough time with someone or something and learn something, I'll be able to do that. And I try to teach that to my children as well. I always say, you know, in sports, if you face enough as a batsman, 150 kilometers an hour, you might not be A.B. de Villiers, but you increase in skill. So I'm not an expert in digital marketing. I've got this background. You see there, I jump again. But so I'm an accountant by trade, and really I've been the past quite a long time now at Corrie Crafts, etc. And I've worked my way up really through hard work and dedication. But I'm only doing this not even a year. I mean, from a digital side. I've been exposed to digital in a sense, not agency, but Facebook, etc. I mean, before this, I wasn't even on Facebook. You know, me and my wife still have a combined account. I don't like Facebook from a personal point of view, because I'm private, you know, and I believe that. From a business view, I think it's valuable, definitely, absolutely. But a year ago, I mean, I always at work, I dabbled into digital transformation, especially from a last mile, etc. Those kind of, and it started interesting. And I'm an entrepreneur at heart. Really, I've lost a lot of money. I've that kind of experience. And it actually, Neil Milan, and I know there's some other students from that group as well, most probably, yeah. But I mean, he popped on. I mean, I'm never on Facebook, and I landed up in his funnel, and I landed up doing the AFT course and everything is history. So what I'm saying now is not from my expertise from digital marketing. I just think the way you approach things, etc., if you've got a positive, it's all about your mindset. And if you approach things with a positive mindset, you can achieve absolutely everything, you know, with the grace of God, obviously with that. But it's, so that's a little bit of background. So I'm not proclaiming what I'm doing is right. I'm not proclaiming, I'm getting results in what I'm doing, but from a client acquisition point of view. And I'm not talking about lead generation. I'm talking about client acquisition for myself. You know? So I don't know where you want me to start, Rudy.
So this is what I was struggling to explain, like with how you were saying, like later on, like you have like everything you want to say and you're taking different routes. I also felt this way, like in the beginning of the call, and this is really what I want to say. Like to me, it was quite evident that you are successful, specifically like in the corporate ladder that you've been climbing. Okay, so I started putting puzzles together because I like reverse engineering stuff. I like to see why things are working, why things are not working. And even though like you're just starting out, or like you can say just starting out, and with all the knowledge and the training that you've been through, you can say that like you are becoming an expert. But what really motivates even me and inspires me is that like I can see this sort of this thing that you've been cultivating, this momentum that you've been working on, and kind of taking that momentum and taking this cultivation and applying it to like the digital marketing industry. And like obviously I know what your goal is. You wanting to go full time and be more with your family and that sort of stuff. And yeah, basically I want to put some light on specifically that, like how is it that you're cultivating this momentum, and what's kind of your mindset about applying that to like the digital space, and especially like starting out. And here's why I want to put light on that, is because I do think that like I've been doing this for 10, 11 years. This is like literally, this is all I know. And why I want to put light on this is people like tend to get very complacent very quickly once they get a few deals going, and like maybe it could be a few Facebook ad retainers or a few like website sales, or however and wherever this individual might be in their entrepreneurial journey. But I'm wanting to specifically put light on this momentum that you're carrying. And I mean, like sorry, my wife is trying to get the Facebook to work on the group there. But completely lost my train of thought there. But what I'm trying to say is that like, putting more light on your momentum, specifically applying it to now, like your digital entrepreneur journey.
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Rudy. I think the big thing, Rudy, is I mean, and I always believe that, you know, whatever the reason why you are and why you're doing the things you are, there should be a greater cause, you know, and there should be a greater belief, because if you don't have that, then you can just do any other job, you know. I mean, then a job is a job, then it becomes a job. But if there's a greater cause why you need to go to work and why you want to build something and spend 65 hours a week extra on top of your normal work, you know, on something that can't promise you anything, but you know, if you put the effort in, you'll be successful. The reason is not because of money. I mean, money you can get anywhere, but I think that the drive comes from, firstly, the drive comes from within and your own beliefs and why you want to do it. And if it is money, you know, I think it's shortly lived. And I think that's in business in general. That's why you see plateaus in companies and smaller companies, because, you know, this guy just wants to live. So and that there's nothing wrong with that. But if your goal is, you know, contributing, and that's what I love about this group, it's about the approach of helping people. It's in Afrikaans there's a saying, lynreg. It's like in line with my beliefs, because I mean, I want to invest in people. I want to help people because of my beliefs, etc. So I think the first starting block is about, you know, having this greater purpose. And if it means enough for you, you'll do absolutely anything, you know. Then I come to the next point, and I think that's where I've got quite a, I mean, I might be what's the word? But I might be just thick-skinned, but I've got that advantage, you know, because a no doesn't mean it motivates me, you know, and it motivates me if someone is skeptical. It motivates me if someone tells me no. So through that, it doesn't actually, I mean, I'm not scared of going to a person and talk to them. Doesn't matter who they are and what name is behind them, if they, whether they're a big rugby player or a sportsman or a big corporate kind of owner of a large entity, because in essence we're the same. But if I believe, and this brings me to my third point, if I believe in what I do, meaning, and I've got confidence in what I do, that will not only portray in my interaction with people, but also bring secure, I mean, will kick every single doubt out of that person's mind once I've explained it to them, because they'll actually, I mean, they'll actually feel positive as well because of my attitude, you know. And that's why before the moment I find, and I'll get to a state, I'll explain now how I approach, etc. But one thing is, I make sure whenever I call someone, my frame of mind, if it's negative, I don't call them, I don't contact them. And I first need to get out of it, because I know subconsciously I might not think I come across as that, but it's so easy to pick up when someone is in front of you and they're negative, or they're not, and that translates in non-confidence in what you do. So I mean, guys, we've got to, I mean, we are so well positioned in this digital age. I mean, I don't think, I mean, everyone talks about it, etc. But I think all of us actually underestimates the opportunity, because I mean, and we often second guess ourselves, because that's, you know, we seem to think, oh, okay, and it starts off with, I mean, everything is mindset, but it starts off, what do you think you're worth? Not about, because everyone comes from a background of, you know, I spend so much time in what I do, and that means time correlates to money, you know, and we don't, that's the correlation that we actually measure ourselves against. But all what we should measure ourselves is, listen, what value do I add, and not what time I spent, because the value that we can add right now in the position that we are in the market, and it is phenomenal. I can tell you, through dealing with corporates and etc. and the big structures, what we are doing through the stuff that we are doing, we might think, I mean, I'm thinking back, and yes, I've come a long, long way. And it seems simple, but it's simple because I faced that 150 kilometers balls enough. So I can bat the 40 kilometers, that analogy, you know, that I can actually face the 150 kilometer ball from a bowler much more confident. And I'm using that in relation to what we're doing. If I was thrown in deep end, everything would have been Greek. And we thinking, hey, but this is maybe simple. How can I charge people the way that I can? Okay, so I think don't underestimate the power and the skills that we've got, and get confidence in what you're doing, but know what you're doing, and being able, and that brings me to the next thing that I'm really talking from the top of my head. So if I jump around, like I said, please bear with me. The next thing that pops up for me that I always is important is one of you've got to be able to think on your feet. You know, I've got one of our leaders one of our shareholders in the current company that I am. He always says, chew gum and walk at the same time. And that is so true, because you've got to be able, when you approach someone, or you in a proposal, or within where you talk to a prospect, they might throw a curveball to you, and you've got to be able to think on your feet and not just say, okay, I'm bold, you know, it's strike. And it's not only strike, it's strike 1, 2, and 3 at the same time. The key is to stand at that base again and actually be prepared and have in your mindset, I'm going to hit this ball out of the park, in relation to any objection that's coming, because that objection is not personal. A lot of, I mean, I don't, like I said, I'm thick-skinned, so I don't take things negatively. I see it as a approach. That person, I know the service that I'm rendering, I know the product, they don't know what I've got. And it's my responsibility to explain it, not in my terms, not in digital terms, in plain and simple English to them what we do. Because you see, we as human beings, part of the complexity, because we know the terminology. Let's take something simple as lead generation. I mean, we know what it is. We know what is required. But I promise you, I mean, I'm sure you guys know this, have experienced this as well, Rudy. It's a lot of people, businessmen of big corporates, don't know what it means. They think they don't know what it is. So I think that when I approach people, I've got, maybe because I'm plain and simple, you know, I say a thing as it is, and the simplest form as it can be. Yep.
But I think William, where you've got a upper hand specifically with that is because you've seen what these guys in decision like make up their minds with. You've seen like what they reject off, and you kind of know, hey, listen, it's not about your fancy talk. It's not about like talking about all these crazy digital terms or terminology. It's about keeping it simple. And the awesome thing is that I think that you've got a very unique perspective on where other businesses, or especially where marketing companies come to pitch, or internally coming up with new ideas, especially with key stakeholders making the decision. And I really think like it's awesome that we're having this interview because it really gives us a view from an inside out. You get what I'm saying? And guys, like if you really like, if you're watching this right now, like I really want you guys to like know, like take note of like someone inside a corporate company, inside with a lot of knowledge around specifically like marketing services and these sort of things. Like take notes, like learn like what is required to get your foot in the door. And I really think like it's awesome that you're sharing this knowledge. And also another thing that I want you to like maybe share on is like, why would you give someone a free trial or a teaser instead of just pitching them like, hey, this is my fee? Why would you do that?
I just want to quickly touch on a point you made on, you know, a lot of people, and this is my personal view, but it's a lot of people put their title in front of them. You know, but in fact, that person behind that title is hiding behind the title instead of putting their skill in front of the title in corporate, in big businesses. And that's why often you can't approach the people from corporate just walking to their front door, because they're hiding. And especially in the older generation, I mean, not the new guys. The new guys know exactly these terms, etc. But the guys that's running the big businesses, they intimidate it. And especially in the marketing field, and no disrespect, because they're so used to old methodology of marketing, and digital is actually, you know, they're afraid of it because they don't understand it, you know. From approach of clients, maybe, yeah. So how I, and maybe let's start, if you don't mind, Rudy, if we start off by saying, listen, how I get my clients and everything, what I've achieved, yeah. So from a perspective of, I mean, not all the clients that I've landed the past week or two is not just, okay, it's been a day or two that I've worked with them. You know, it's been, some of them has been coming for a while. I've had good traction. I mean, I've actually started properly the agency in January. I mean, I finished end of November. I took December off, went for holiday on the beach and everything with my family, and then came back full steam. Just before the week before COVID, I had 8 signed retainer clients. And that's literally, if you think of it, I started mid-Jan, that's literally 2 months. I had 9 signed retainer clients. Because of COVID, obviously a lot of them was in the beginning, and they decided, listen, okay, most of them stopped. There's a few that went on, but most of them stopped. And I obviously planning ahead and everything. My plan was obviously to grow it as big as I can, etc., and scale, etc. And again, I want to touch on this. I'm already thinking not just of tomorrow, and maybe that's what you guys can do is, you know, have the greater. How big do you want this to be? You know, how many websites, how many clients do you need for your purpose? You know, because otherwise, it's going to happen. If you land one, okay, I can survive, I can relax. But if you know, listen, I've got to have 20 lead generation clients, or 5 or 2 or 1 or whatever, you won't stop at that first client, because your goal, you haven't reached your goal. So subconsciously, you always drive to get the next one. So what I did when COVID did, I mean, initially, and I promise you, I landed all those clients at 10, 15 grand retainers, every single one of them before COVID, 10,000, 15,000 rand retainer a month. And by the way, they weren't practice clients. They were all new clients. And so my approach with them initially, and obviously was totally different to now. Then I was like, I'm giving you a service, and I could pick and choose who I wanted to. You know, when COVID came, that ripped everything out, and obviously the earning potential. That put me on the back foot. Yes, I've got another job, but it put me backwards in where I want to be. So what I did was I actually, you know, approach clients and say, listen, I still go with the mindset in mind. Say, listen, my retainer will be, and I do my research, for this industry, it will be 10 grand, 15 grand, 20 grand, 30 grand, whatever it is, you know. And I test it very, very subtle through casual engagement. And I'll talk about engagement now as well. But I want to mention, and I think I mentioned it to you earlier today, Rudy, it's so important to be in front of people. You know, it is absolutely so important. It creates trust. It creates, you know, people feed off you, etc. And you can just put a face in. And I know COVID made it very difficult. But even through a Zoom session, try not to just send mails. Try to get in front of the right person, and don't be afraid of asking who's the right person. And I can tell you now, I mean, I'm busy in the middle. I get, it depends on when COVID will be lifted. Well, the lockdown on level 3 will be lifted. I'm busy with extremely large business business, a gym group. And I mean, I've been struggling for 5 months to get in front of the right person, you know, and I actually landed to get in front of the right person a month and a half ago. And now, if I had the mindset of, oh, this person can't help me, that person can't help me, but I started off by asking a personal trainer, that person referred me to that floor manager, then the floor manager, the club manager, then the club marketing manager, then this person, then I got to step back. So always don't give up, have a thick skin, but also always understand who you need to talk to. Because, and if you don't, ask. I mean, I think our people, we as human beings are afraid to ask questions because we might sound stupid. You know, no question is stupid to ask in my mind. And if someone thinks you're stupid, I mean, then it's on them, you know. So what I've done, and I'm sorry, I'm dragging this out, Rudy, but what I've done is really when COVID came, I realized, okay, well, everyone is, I mean, I'm putting myself into their shoes because I'm in the fortunate position that I've had my own, I'm an entrepreneur and also I'm in a big corporate and I understand how businessmen think and entrepreneurs think. And immediately what they do when fear is there, they do this. Although we know it makes logical sense, they've got a market because they've got to generate income. And COVID actually tested all of us. And I went out and said, listen, when I pitched them in COVID, I had the mindset and say, listen, this company, this is the value that I can add, and this will be my retainer. And I positively affirmed. There's a saying, walk and talk as if you've already got, you know? So when I talked about these people, I'd say to myself, listen, they are a retainer, they are a client. I am adding positive value to them. Although they might not even know who I am yet, but I strongly believe in affirmation. I strongly believe in what you say. The life and death is in the power of the tongue. Lies in the power of the tongue. And if you speak life over things in business as well, it will come your way, you know? So that's what I do. And then really when I go and I gauge, listen, where are they in their mindset? I then would either start, I would be confident, no, they're in, or no, there's hesitance. And when I go, I then ease down and I say, listen, okay, I can see you there's hesitance. I understand that. I can associate. So I associate with their fear. But then I come back and I address all their questions and I go and say, listen, okay, well, listen, what if I tell you, listen, and every single scenario is different. I literally I go and say, listen, if I really want to work with them, if I really, really want to work with them, I go to the extent where I say, listen, I will give you a month's free service from our site. You just cover the Facebook ads. I never cover their Facebook ads because in my belief is if they get something for free, they will not give you the information on time. They'll sit on the information, etc. There's got to be something that they are willing to lose because in my views, then if you're struggling to get, call it $4,000 out of them or $5,000 or whatever the budget would be, how are you going to struggle to get your retainer eventually when they become a retainer client out of them? You know? So if they're not willing to forego that as a risk and they can gain hundreds of thousands of dollars or rands in your expertise, then they're not worthwhile. So my worst scenario that I would go into, I would say, listen, I'll give you a free scenario. Or I would go and say, listen, and I'm not 100% sure about the person's commitment, you know, or I'm not really into that niche right now. And by the way, I want to say I haven't niched. I'm in all industries right now, and I know it's a mistake, and I know it's whatever, but I've got a niche that two or three niches that I really want to get to. I haven't had the chance to get. I haven't had the opportunity. So my approach is get the clients in what I can right now, in where I'm confident in, you know, and then the niche I'll along the way, I'll get a referral through that client, and a door will open up through the niches that I want. So in some instances, coming back to my offering, I would go and say, listen, free month, or I'll say, listen, okay, well, let's do, my retainer is normally 15,000 Rand, and I'll say, listen, okay, I'll charge you 7,500 Rand, half of that. So my message is just not that. I explain to them, listen, whenever I meet them or whenever I talk to them, I'm saying, listen, I know everyone tells you this, but I promise you, my heart is, I want to help you. And I want to really add value to you. I don't see myself as a consultant. I'm a business owner, and I hope I don't offend you, but I'm a business owner and trying to help you. And that's really my approach. And I must say, the moment you show them, and I think it's a combination, showing them that, you really want to help. And obviously it's business for you as well, but really there's risk for you as well, that you'll spend the time, etc., and you won't get reward, and they need to forego the ad spend. Immediately there's no excuses. And when I'm at a stage and I can read the person, the individual, I would say, listen, there's no excuse anymore. And I actually say those words. Because I've taken out all the objections, and I address all the objections, and I take out all the objections from what they've got, and I really listen. And then sometimes there's silence because they can't, there's no excuse anymore, because they're not paying me. They would have paid $4,000 anyway to a pamphlet that they would have printed and been thrown in the dustbin anyway. So then you see, okay, either reluctantly or willingly, they'll say, okay, well, let's test. And then usually the question is, for how long? And I say, listen, you can't test anything. And I use the analogy. I say, listen, and I believe in this. If you never say what if, and I say test something properly, and then I go into I say 3 months already. And then from your second question on from a perspective of big companies and how they make decisions, the big corporate agencies the leaders, they're not doing the kind of service that we are. And I believe, and the kind of retainers that they're asking, etc., is ridiculous to the value add. And all of us know it, and etc., etc. But from the decisions are made just to save my own bum in corporate. That is the basis of corporate, is I've just got to do the right thing, and I've got to get, doesn't matter what kind of, if I'm just doing what the average and the norm is, and then I need to make that decision. And that's in marketing exactly the same way, And I think, and again, the difficulty for us is to incorporate, ultimately, the people that need to hire you in the corporate world is the traditional, more often than not, is the older traditional marketing managers or the execs. And they are afraid of you. And know that. They are afraid of you. And if you go, don't be arrogant, but if you go with that and try to be friendly and try to be engaging, and your first goal is to win them on your side, and make them comfortable with you, that you're not there to take over their job, they'll open up. And it might take 6 months. It might take 4 months. But it will depend on your, right in the beginning, the reason why you're doing this, whether you'll be willing to wait and nurture that relationship for that long. If that passion or that ultimate reason is important enough, you'll do it for a year, if that is the industry that you want to get into. So yeah, I don't know if I've touched on what you wanted me to touch on.
Yeah, definitely. We are very, very big in doing things leverage. in a leveraged position. Like obviously you already know, or you know, that's kind of how SuperAgency was birthed, doing things proactively. And for those basically become members of SuperAgency, like there's many sides to it. But basically, like I've gotten a lot of traction as an entrepreneur doing things proactively, like building out a site and then go pitching to clients, like finding a potential client that might be interested, but they don't want to, they like coming up with the price up front will just scare them away. And how do you address that ultimate fear? Hey, I'll do it on my own budget. I'll do it on my own risk. And my first online client, my first agency clients, I actually got I was looking on Facebook, came across a really awesome group, and I saw a few business posts and people posting about their businesses. And this guy had quite an interesting business, and I thought, hey, like I can probably generate leads for him. So I messaged him, hey, listen, I can do lead generation for you. It was like kind of, he appreciated the outreach, but he couldn't put the puzzle together. He couldn't put the puzzle together how I was going to use Facebook ads to accomplish that. So prior to that point, I've had quite a bit of experience with Facebook ads. I've generated quite a bit of money through e-com and like leveraging Facebook ads in unique ways. So I was quite confident. Anyway, I put down like $100. I didn't even get to the $100 ad spend. And within like 3 days, like I swamped him with leads, and these leads are quite valuable to him. And within I can't remember if it was 5 or 7 days, I closed him as a client. And with the contract remainder was probably about 10 to 12 months. And even it was about $1,500 a month Australian, and he paid for the ads. And the awesome thing is like, especially for those that like think you're going to build this amazing business on giving Facebook ad retainers, like there are seasons that you completely saturate the market and you're going to have to sharpen up your verticals, your targeting, and all that sort of stuff. This client was so awesome that he had grace for me in these difficult seasons. And finally we completed the whole market industry completely saturated. And brilliant clients. He sent me like 5 clients my way. And like I used that concept, this proactive approach to really go about a lot of things. And this is kind of how SuperAgency was birthed. And the one thing that I'm really not good at, but one thing that I'm really bullish on is if you're struggling to get clients, it means that you need to drop your retainer, your upfront retainer fee. And if you are like good with Facebook ads, or you're not good with Facebook ads, or whatever your field is, you need to maybe go sharpen up your tools there. But the point is that you need to have confidence to actually provide a result to your clients. And if you're so confident, then your first couple of clients, you need to take the risk on your end to win that client over. But more importantly, to win him over, but to actually serve him and actually bring him results. And that will put you in a position where you were thinking of a 5,000 Rand retainer. Now, all of a sudden, you're in a position where you just made him 50K or 100K or whatever the case is. And now you can charge him 15 to 20K a month and basically get more clients, because you're doing an amazing job for him, and he's calling his friends and putting in a really good position with referring his personal network to you. So
Rudy, I absolutely agree. The thing is, I mean, the whole thing about sales pipelines, I mean, and currently, yes, I haven't, there's a saying in Afrikaans, and sorry for the English view, it's like you complain with the white bread under the arm, jy klaar met die wit brood onder die arm, nee? But yes, I've got a lot of onboarding. I mean, I've got 5 clients that I'm building funnels for lead generation, not one website, but it's lead generation, retainer clients, and minimum retainer per month is 10,000 Rand. And it's good companies, and there's a lot of potential within that for growth, because some of them have got multiple branches, etc., etc., etc. But the problem, that pipeline, it was generated from the pipeline. And I want to say, I mean, I haven't actively promoted my business from a paid ads per view to get leads on Facebook. Not one of these clients have come through Facebook leads. I've ran one campaign for my agency. And in fact, I've only finalized my website, I think a month and a half ago, because I mean, I don't drive traffic to it. It's just for me social proof right now, because there's enough in the pipeline to get me where I want to get to, and my first ultimate goal. But I've actually ran one paid ad to generate leads, because I'm quite passionate about, you know, exercise and being healthy and everything. And one of the niches that I really want to get into is the health and wellness kind of gym industry, you know, because I think we can add a hell of a lot of value there. And by the way, guys, I mean, think of it, and those of you that want to as well, think about these salespeople sit in courts. They pay money for them to sit in a mall's court to harass people. And go and talk to these sales reps of the gyms, and they hate it. And when I tell the sales reps, listen, what we do, they say, please get me in front of the right, I mean, go and talk to this person, this person. Start off by doing that, you know, and don't aim low. Do not aim low. I mean, your small little gym is not going to be able to afford you. They're not, because they think small. That's the reason why they're in the location and everything that they are. Think big, go for the big fish, you know. But anyway, so all of my clients has been from my personal network, but most of the clients that I've got right now, I haven't known before this. And it's either someone that I did a free practice client with, and they referred me to several other businesses, or I've met someone and I talked about it, or I'm not, I mean, Rudy, you laughed earlier today, but I'm not afraid of telling people what I do, because I've got confidence, not just in what I do. And through that, people will tell other people. And I asked them, listen, you might not be interested, but do you know other business owners? You know? And then I tell them, and most people will say yes. But most people, what we often think, they're doing you a favor. But remember, come from a point of view that I see myself as I'm doing their people that they know a favor. And that means I tell them, listen, if you know people, will you let me know? Do you know of people? And I try to get names when I tell that to them. I try to get names. And then through that, what I do is I tell them, listen, can I give you a call in a week's time? And immediately I've got their contact number, and I confirm, have you spoken to? I'm not harassing them, but they promise me they'll, and that's how I get the leads. You know, I've currently got these 5 clients. There's another 4 that's in the pipeline that will drop within the next month and a half, definitely. And there's a load that's not even in the pipeline that I haven't even approached yet. And the 4, and then there's about 10 in the pipeline that know of me and actually started to contact me because they heard what I was doing. But it's so I think feeding the pipeline, and how you feed that pipeline is important, is not through try to get in front of people. Try to get in front of the right person. Like you say, be proactive. Be proactive. And people and be confident. I just think being people, and although we in this current world, it's so important to get in front of the right person. And I'm not talking only from a digital point of view. I'm talking about anything in life, from landing a contract in your current work, etc., or your goal in personal life, etc. It's being there's a saying in life that says, the person you're going to be in the next 3 to 5 years is going to be a matter of 2 things: the books you read and the people you associate with. And I strongly believe that. So there's only one book that I read, and it's it's the best ultimate book teaching everything. Read, and it's based on my faith, etc. And then secondly, it's the people I associate. I look for people that I want to be, and I want to associate with, from values to success to anything. And I want to make myself a nuisance. So that's why I call you so much, really.
No, he's got his own. He's got his own dedicated feature request site that we made available for him. No, I'm only joking there, William. We truly appreciate feedback, and we truly appreciate feature requests and questions, and because we learn, if we get them frequently, we learn, and we know how to alter them, or alter the software, or to provide better support to you guys. But yeah, William, that's definitely like, I really admire your drive and your passion, and more importantly, like yeah, like you've really got this purpose, and like it's obvious, it's very obvious that the whatever you've cultivated in your professional career, that it's just overflowing into what you're doing now. And that's not something you can just hack overnight. This is something that really goes down to your core belief and your core purpose, to what you want to achieve. And obviously for you, it's family, it's a lot deeper things that really how can I say, will drive you to strong impact. And Jon, I could fully relate to you on everything that you said. And yeah, like I truly appreciate you sharing your heart. And yeah, I believe there's a few questions that some of the users have for you. I just want to check. My wife just let me know.
Cool.
Just want to see. Please help me if I'm wrong. I'm from a B2B background, but overall it's a numbers game. You actually get an average within the 2 to 3 months. 1 in every 60 you talk to buy or subscribe, or whatever you represent. So yeah, I think maybe for this guy, William, I don't know if you can see that. I don't know if your Facebook open there, but I really think like if it's still, if you're doing volume outreach and it's like a number game for you, it probably means that you've probably got to focus a little bit more on who you want to work with, and really like going like really making sure that your outreach is persistent. And even if you don't get them, like offering if they are qualified, obviously offering them a free trial, making sure that you provide some results, and then yeah, like we'll put you in a better position once you've generated results, because that's the ultimate door in.
Yeah, I think, you know what, Rudy, I honestly believe, because I choose who I approach, you know, I believe I'll be able to close them. I believe, and I can tell you, I mean, and I run all my leads on Active Campaign and everything that deals the deal pipeline thing, and the success rate that I've got, it's not volume. It is not volume, because I believe in the personal approach. Really, that's my strategy. You know, I believe in getting in front of the right person, and once I can get into the right person, I'll get the right results. And I'm not saying the other strategy, meaning, you know, hey, people contact me kind of approach is wrong at all, and the numbers game at all. But I can tell you now, honestly, I mean, I close more than 50% of anyone that I'm engaging. Yeah, and it's not a numbers game for me right now, because, and maybe it's not right in comparing, because the strategy of mass kind of engagement, I'm not following that strategy, you know.
Yeah. Now, I'm also a big believer in like you cannot hack this type of growth. Yes, there's probably some sort of way that you can virally explode, or however the case is, but you cannot hack a marketing agency growth. It's most of the growth will come through word of mouth, will come from your results, will come from your case studies, and people seeing that, or their business network seeing that, and then coming to you. Like that's what I personally think. And William, I know for your I don't know if you mind me mentioning like one of the industries that you're working in.
Yeah, go for it.
Storage clients. Like I know that like on the call this afternoon, you mentioned something like over the COVID season, the ads that you've been running for them, literally they saw an increase of 20% in business, which obviously probably like I'm assuming that like the storage units filled, probably.
Yeah, I must be honest. When I started, I was very hesitant in the storage industry. The lead generation makes sense for me, but I was very hesitant when I engaged, in my opinion, and so is every marketer really out there that I talk to, was that storage was Google, you know, storage was Google. But this company had an existing marketing agency. They did SEO and Google ads, and they couldn't supply them return on investment, etc. And that's how I got my foot in. You know, I said, listen, I can give me a month and let's see whether it can work, you know. And a beautiful man, the owner of the company and everything, and we related immediately. And from the beginning, we generated more leads than in a week than that SEO company did in a year, and they've been with them for 5 years already. So after 3 months, they cancelled, and then
Sorry. Do you know how much the SEO company were basically paying? Or not?
Yeah, they charged them the entry package. Remember the entry package, and really scary. All they do, they run the Google ads and they refer them to their website. All in that link that they click through is to the homepage, not even contact us page. I mean, that's poor. I mean, at least redirect them to the contact page if you need to, you know. But anyway, they got the homepage, and they ran the Google ad spend was 6,000 Rand a month, just the ad spend, and they charged them 7,000 Rand a month. Yes, so in total, between 13 and 14,000 Rand a month, they charged them. Yeah.
So not only like did you help them increase like sales, obviously, but you also helped them reduce a cost that was actually costing them money than anything else.
Yeah, and we are in the situation. I mean, we close to filling his capacity. He was about 60% full. He had experience because a big storage company opened up a few years back, 4 years back, and ever since his occupancy dropped. And but he tells me, William, then I don't need your service anymore. I say, well, that's fine. That means it's a success, you know. But yeah, it increased by 20% during COVID, which is phenomenal. I mean, and it's not through Google, it's Facebook that we're getting on average between 2 and 3 leads a day, and last month we converted 20% of those leads, 22% of those leads.
Sure.
Converted. And I must be honest, they're not even, I mean, they still need, I'm having a meeting Friday with them. They're not even great at follow-up. I mean, the receptionist, even after how many times she sends out a mail and then wait for a return and everything, she could be on the phone, you know. But it's they're not even great at follow-up, and they get a 20% return.
William,
20% conversion.
Can I ask you a question on this, but more specifically in another way? Sorry if that sounds confusing, but from working for a corporate company, okay, if a company comes in and not only optimizes your marketing, but also helps your business systems, what do corporates usually pay those companies?
It's between 100 and 500,000 Rand a month. I mean, I can tell you there's big retailers that, I mean, it's millions a month.
And that's only like, obviously like it's the ads part, it's the marketing part, but obviously it's the part where you come in and actually optimize their business, because this is basically what you're doing. And that alone is so much work. And you work out the price per the ROI that you're bringing them over 2 years, 3 years, 5 years. And like why stop at a retainer? You get what I'm saying? If you come in the right way and you show them results, it's all about how you package that offer. If you're just going to say, hey, I run Facebook ads, cool, awesome. I'll go in and charge, I'll make up an offer of like Facebook ads, and I'll help you optimize this. I'm going to help you optimize offline, this and that. All of a sudden, we can probably charge a really good once-off. I don't want to scare people on here, but a really nice once-off, and then probably a retainer. Like, and I'm talking about like really nice, maybe a 6 if the company is qualified to do so. Because I know for a fact that like ads is one thing, but if you help a company like especially land all of this, what you're doing right now, and kind of systemize it in, like now you're talking about business optimization. And this is something completely higher than just normal, okay, cool, let's sell you a website or let's just run Facebook ads. So it's really like, points is, if you're getting results for a company, like there's so much room and flexibility where you can come in and actually deliver a service that's actually gonna yield in a very strong ROI for them over the next coming like years.
Really, absolutely correct. And I think if you see yourself as a consultant, that's on the wrong foot. You've got to be actually see yourself as a business consultant, not a consultant. I've got the advantage. I've got business knowledge and everything, and I've got a financial knowledge, business knowledge, and I've got entrepreneurial spirit. So often my clients, when we get to that relationship, and there's quite a few of them that would phone me and say, listen, financially, what should I do here? You know, or business-wise, what would you help? So I'm becoming like a business consultant and not a marketing. And that puts me in good state, because not only the relationship grow, they start trusting me more. And secondly, I become an integral part of their business growth, and not just this agency that supplies marketing for them in their mind, you know, and then they don't see me as a cost. They actually see me, I need this individual. And by all means, you don't need to have business expertise. You don't need to have those kind of things, but you've got to, I mean, see yourself adding value wherever you can. And even tell that to them and say, listen, if you need any advice, I've got access to many business people. You don't have to go and pay hundreds of thousands. Ask me the question, I'll get you the answer. And within these groups that we are, I mean, we'll all help each other with advice, you know. And I think position yourself as, it's critical, as a business partner and not a consultant.
Gotcha. Well said. Well said. There's just one more thing that I'm also quite passionate about that immediately, like you did. I don't know if you realized what you were doing there or not, but I believe it was last Monday we were on a Zoom call, and we were talking about like, even like, don't just go in like, obviously it's awesome like being proactive, offering ads up front or a website, but basically going into the barber shop or going into the shop or ordering something online from the site, buying one of their products, not just being a salesperson, but becoming a customer and showing them, hey, listen, like I'm interested in your product. And in fact, like I see a few gaps that you might be able to fill through this. Like, I don't know if you intentionally like, with the cards that you ordered online, I don't know if you want to maybe share on that.
Yeah.
Quite cool.
So, I mean, what my boys started, we've got a lot of these collectors cards, not the playing cards, but the collectors cards, which they started to throw around. There's these guys that do it professionally and cut through bananas, etc. And one of my boys saw through, I mean, they're not very fond of television and everything, but they saw this guy professional throwing, Rick Smith Jr., and he's got so many world records on these. And we ordered online from his shop, and then basically I was so frustrated at the point on the kind of interaction that I've got. I ordered and then I couldn't ship it to South Africa, and then I mailed him, and then I got to him, you know, he answered the mail, and this guy that's got 490,000 YouTube followers, 19,000 Facebook, and 90,000 Instagram followers. And I actually said, listen, I mean, by the way, after he confirmed the order, I paid and everything, and he shipped it. I said, by the way, I just want to tell you, I don't know who's doing your website, but it is terribly slow. And I just, in the mail, I did a snapshot on his page speed insights, you know. And I said, look, yeah, it's 13 and it's like 35. It's hanging and everything. And I don't know if you're happy with it, but if you want to chat, drop me a line, I'll gladly jump on a Zoom and help you. Never I said I can give you business, I can do your website. I just said help you, you know. I mean, within a minute, this guy and he's from America, I mean, and from America, he came back and said, listen, can we jump on the Zoom? And then we set up last week, Friday, we set up a session. And to the extent that, I mean, he's doing a live feed with, I don't know, for those of you that got kids, Dude Perfect is guys that got 52 million followers worldwide. The Dude Perfect channel. It's these guys. My wife gets irritated. This one guy that always shouts. It's like this squeaky voice. But anyway, he's got a show, this Rick Smith, in 2 weeks' time, and they're going to promote some of his products, and they're anticipating something like 20 million hits on his website. And if it's slow, obviously the abandoned cart will be high. And I explained that to him: are you not even tracking Facebook? You're not even having the Google tag into your analytics on your Facebook. And I showed it to you. I actually, while I was in the Zoom, I showed it. I shared the screen. I said, look here, this is what's wrong. So he agreed that, I mean, we build a website, etc., or just from a store perspective. And also after that, also when he's back do his corporate gigs as lead generation. So he's fully on board, but we from a belief perspective and everything. So that is, I mean, it's something. If you're just about the money, if I just pursued that would have been, because I mean, his connections is ginormous, you know, and I'm from a belief point of view, from what he does, I don't associate with him. And yes, I should have thought about that before I opened my mouth and said, listen, hey, I'll do that. But yeah, eventually I decided to move away, and I explained that to him, and he's okay with it. Yeah.
Yep. And,
so, but yeah, the essence is just, you know, anything you do, look for opportunity, and don't be afraid of asking. Because I mean, think about it, this guy's got 500,000 YouTube followers. Now, yes, it's not 50 million. And by the way, I already approached Dude Perfect 50 million because I saw their opportunity. And again, they've got, believe it or not, they're quite corporate. They like, I mean, this guy, and you've got and I haven't given up. I'm on LinkedIn and everything. I'm trying to follow the individuals and et cetera, because I mean, I like their beliefs and their ethics and etc. But anyway, yeah. So it's, don't be afraid of asking, listen, or just suggesting help. And that's where the door opens, to be in front of the right person. Yeah.
But William, tell me, like, even though like I fully respect and I really think it's awesome that like the opportunity came, you were excited, but like even for me, my beliefs, the specific things they do, like even though it could amount to like in probably 6-7 figures, like USD deals and all that good stuff. But yeah, awesome on that. But like, do you think you would have gotten that call, or that scheduled call, if you didn't buy his product?
No.
Why do you think he gave you the opportunity? And potentially you guys were you were going to provide a website on your cost. You were going to front end it on your side. And like, it's actually not that difficult with a guy with that sort of audience to just optimize a few things and jump up a few sales. And then like, you can have a really good conversation. Like, why do you think he had a conversation with you?
It's because, I mean, I think it's that when someone buys something from you or takes a service up, they're almost subconsciously they're obliged to entertain you, you know, to listen to you, and that all of a sudden, and especially people in that kind of industry, in the digital industry, because they depend on customers so much interacting, they would be willing to. Now, yes, with him, he had this big thing, and if I'm experiencing something that is not good with the big event that he's planning, he wants to see what's going on. But I don't think, I mean, if I didn't buy, I think he would have just gone to a web designer there in America and got it fixed, you know. I honestly think it's because, I mean, he's guard was off because I bought from him. Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. No, I like, I've personally tested waters, specifically with this angle, and it definitely gets you in the door a lot quicker with a different perspective of like, hey, stop trying to pitch me stuff. Like it's like all of a sudden you've got this guy next to you. Hey, listen, I just bought your product. It's awesome. Like, I suggest this. I see your point. What do you charge? You get what I'm saying? It's a lot different conversation, and a lot easier in the door that way. But yeah, William, like, it was really, really awesome sharing your heart. And yeah, like, I'm very excited about your traction, like massive traction. I believe, like, with the current rate you're going at, like, I don't know what what you can accomplish. But you are definitely excited to be a part of your journey, and I hope this impacts some of the students and some of the members to really take this to heart and kind of see, hey, listen, like, you're gonna have to cultivate a very successful habits to really go after this thing. This is not just like waking up one morning, or like I'm trying next week, or trying again in another month. It's staying consistent, not volume, but being more personal, and really making sure that you're delivering value for this client. I really think, yeah.
Rudy, if I'm one last thing is, understand, what I would suggest is understand where you want to be, have the plan built, or know exactly each little step. Know exactly. You like sleep, eat, drink, everything. A lot of, and then the next comment will be, yeah, but your life must be balanced, And I honestly believe, if you look at it over a period of time, yes, you will be balanced. But over a short period of time, no one's life is balanced. So accept that if this cause, the reason why you're doing this is important enough, is that this bowl, if you imagine a bowl without a bottom, will almost tip over the amount of focus it requires in anything in life. And yeah, I sound like a psychologist, I think. But it's almost, a lot of people say, listen, and with that is sacrifices. But if this cause, this belief, and this end goal is worthwhile, anything is worthwhile. But it is important to buy out time as well, and it's like almost contradicting what I'm saying, but it is important. And sometimes it takes a person like my wife, to make me realize that, because I can become obsessed in this goal, etc.
Yeah.
And it's a wonderful person like her that tells her, listen, okay, well, let's do this, let's and I think but the key is, for me, like I started off, I'm not an expert in anything what I'm talking about. I can just talk from my experience, is understand every single step, what is necessary. Might not know the detail of everything. You'll never have enough money to do what you eventually need to do. A lot of people will say, listen, I only want to get married if I have enough time, money. You'll never have enough money to when you get married. Similar with business, with anything, is you'll never be ready. Just get out of bed and start doing it every single day, and understand where you're going, and start writing things down and your goals, and every single step. Along the way, you'll color things in. But there needs to be big marks, and know where you want to end up. Aim for the stars and reach the moon, I guess.
Definitely. And just one more thing. Obviously, you're working a full-time job, and it's probably quite demanding, lots of responsibility. So how many hours are you putting into this, like, a day? Like, what does that kind of look like?
Can I pardon that question? Like, for instance, last night, so we went to bed. I went to work, and I went to bed 2:00. Yeah. So, it's long hours. It is. For it's easier. I must say, with working from home, it's easier to balance if you want to work. Now that we need, there's a requirement that you need to go back into the office. Obviously, business is starting up full steam again, etc. It is a bit more demanding. But I can give you an example. When I did that course, my high, we did, and we on average work about 50-hour weeks, 55-hour weeks in Monday to Fridays. And then I'm not even counting in Saturdays when you occupied at work, etc. And then my peak on the course that I did was 65 hours on top of my 50 hours.
So like an extra 65 hours. Yes, that's
cool.
it. Yeah.
Sure. So it is. I think when you get older, you can't get away with less sleep. I'm experiencing that, but it really is one of, it's, again, is it tough? Yes, but I know it will get the results, because I've got the attitude is you know, if someone else can do it, I can do it as well. As long as I've got someone that's done this, I know if I put in the effort and I get the right guidelines and I get the right training and I get in front of the right influencers that's done this, I mean, they'll assist me. It's just, but it's a lot. I mean, it's effort. It is. And a lot of.
Alfred, did you maybe have any questions for William?
Don't tell me romance. I'm not going to be able to see you.
No, I just need to agree with William what he said earlier about the same thing I also noticed is there's a lot of old people that is scared of doing the digital marketing route or getting people to do the social media. That's also the same thing I noticed, and it's a question of you need to get out of your comfort zone to approach those people. So I can show you results, and just getting them to, it's like you need to build a personal relationship with those people. To tell them, listen, it can work. We can help it to work. And yeah, it's basically nothing to lose and all to gain, basically.
Yeah, no, I fully agree. And there's just one comment here, Donnie Dicterson. Just a simple shift to soft selling changed everything in COVID time, and I'm a typical hard seller. He's probably what I'm getting is that you've had to swap over to soft selling, and you're a typical hard seller. Yeah, I would definitely like. There's a time and a place for hard selling, but yeah, like typically like I'm a really firm believer in providing value, and there will be a exchange in transaction. Like there's no, like, I don't know if there was any hard selling with you guys joining SuperAgency. Like it was, you guys saw a product and boom, we jumped, we probably a little bit of packaging and offering and that sort of stuff. But yeah, hard selling has never really worked for me. Like it's honestly never worked for me.
Yeah. I must say, I think there's a place for that, really. I really do think so. But I think when times change, you've got to be adaptable in anything. From selling to your, you've got to adapt to the situation. And I think what happened with SMMEs, remember this COVID is hitting them very, very hard. And although we know marketing is required to sell, if you're not marketing, you're not selling, because you're not driving traffic to your back office or your business. Immediately, traditionally, because traditional SMMEs, remember most of these SMMEs are entrepreneurs, and they see marketing as an expense. Okay, I think the first tap that they screw down when going gets tough are those kind of expenses, and that's what happened in COVID. So I'm a hard seller. I mean, initially, that's what I tried to explain. In the beginning, I went in and said, listen, 15 grand, because there were so many options that I could offer. I mean, the next person there. I mean, but I experienced even people that I hard sold and signed for the retainer, they turned down the screws. And I saw, listen, I've got to keep my pipeline full so that after COVID, I can get it. I can keep the momentum. When you come into these situations, and most probably will change going forward, but when you get into these situations where there's fear, you've got to take the fear away. And the fear in business is about losing money right now on SMMEs. And in their mind, because firstly, they don't understand what lead generation is, for instance, and I want to touch on lead generation versus websites, my strategy, and maybe it will help someone, but if you go into and say, listen, their fear is one, I'm intimidated by this person because I don't want to tell them, but I don't really know what lead generation is, because they're intimidated. And secondly, their business is in shambles, most probably going to close down. So how are they going to hard sell, agree to something? But if you as an individual see that you can add value to them, and let's put it this way, if you are a hard seller and you don't change, you will lose that potential client that can possibly, past COVID or situations like this, be a huge business for you and a huge client for you. You know, if you're just a hard seller. And I think if you don't, and I agree, Donnie, I mean, I agree. Hard selling, it's good. It is good. But I think also certain situations would allow to do non-hard selling. And what did I say? I wanted to touch on, what did I say? Do you remember? I can't remember. I said I wanted to touch on something, but anyway. Yeah, so I do believe that hard selling, there is a place, but I think you through the approach that you mentioned, Rudy, you take all objections away and you can get in front of the right people more often than not. Definitely.
Yeah, no, definitely. Maybe I have a little bit of a tainted picture or a different picture of hard selling, where I just imagine these sales calls just getting hammered, forcing you. And yeah, I don't think personally if that is the definition of like hard selling he is talking about. I don't know if that's kind of what he's talking about, but I think for me what's always worked is like leverage strategically, listening what they say, where they need help, and I just going, okay, cool, I can deliver that service. Oh, I need help with this. I've got this problem. Okay, cool. I'll help you solve that problem by doing this, and this. So that's just always like how I've gone about it. But Orkut, I had a question specifically on, you've had a little bit of a different momentum with SuperAgency, and I know that there's been quite a bit of blood, sweat, and tears involved specifically with that, and you've had to experience businesses a little bit more on the volume approach, like the rejection and all of this sort of stuff. What would you say is has contributed to your success with SuperAgency or this online entrepreneur journey, like especially facing all of the rejection that you have faced like in the last couple of months? What would you say like is your key takeaway there on the deals that you've closed?
Well, one thing I basically realized is
has contributed to your with SuperAgency, this online entrepreneur journey, like especially facing all of the rejection that you have faced like in the last couple of months. What would you say like is your key? I just muted William for a second there.
One thing basically I've noticed is being persistent. There's a lot of people basically that said no, and I went back to them and said, listen, yeah, can I basically generate a site for you? We'll see, and you can give input of what you like, what you don't like. And eventually I realized that, and I showed in the speeds of, this is your old site, this is your new site. Your new site is basically search engine optimized. It is running faster. It is optimized for PC, mobile devices, tablets, and it looks modern. It doesn't look like it comes out of Noah's Ark. And then I slowly realized to see the value of having a proper site. And then basically I said, let's hear. Then after that, I tried to promote additional services. So once a month, basically, I just check up with them to find out, listen, yeah, do you maybe want to post additional blogs? Can I help you with that? Or just sketching up. I mean, I'm there to basically try to help people to promote the businesses, to get more clients, and I basically, if there's any issues, they can contact me anytime. I mean, other people also contact me every time. I'm not going to say any names, but yeah. but that's the thing. But that's the thing. I don't mind. I'm there to help, and it gives me a lot of joy to basically to help those people and to see results. And that's my main aim at the end of the day, is to actually see results from those people. And with them, because there's a lot of companies out there that goes, okay, fine, you cut your site, pay us every month, and we don't do anything else afterwards. And for me, basically, that is very impersonal. It is, I mean, I like contacting people. There's every now and then, listen, yeah, I haven't heard from you in a while. Is there anything you need? I don't charge them additional for it. It's just they pay the hosting fees, and I don't charge them additional for anything else they want at the moment, because I know everything is tough for everybody at the moment. But still, I mean, it's sometimes I just need somebody to talk to, which happens also quite a bit. So yeah.
And I really also think, like, Orchid, I can like really relate to you there. Like, I'm personally not an invoice trigger happy like person. Like, there's some of my clients that have like paid me a little bit for like a custom job on this and that. And sometimes like they email me, hey, the email servers are down. Like, I'll jump in. I don't care about what costs or whatever the case is. I'll get there. I'll quickly fix it, and I won't invoice them. Like, I've had so many like of these opportunities where I can like send out a proper invoice or this or that, or like yeah, the point is that like I really think like there's a time and a place for it, but don't be invoice trigger happy. Serve your client. Make sure that their business is running. I'm not saying like go bankrupt. I'm saying like if it's not really necessary, don't do it. Don't be remembered as that business that's like completely trigger happy. Like, I know I can think of a few businesses that I've dealt with that invoice you on like everything everything you do. And even like in the web design industry, if you make this update or like change this, you'll somehow get a invoice for $60 or $50. And yeah, I really think like if it's really taking a lot of time and it's a complete new design or something like that, yeah, there's a time and a place for it. But I think what shows more value is that like you're doing it on your side and really providing value in doing this service without really like charging them and making them like, in a way, like, no, hey, listen, I've got your back. But obviously make sure that it's not a client that will take advantage of that.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. It's a question of as soon as somebody goes and takes a complete advantage from you, then you need to start a step back and basically reevaluate the relationship, basically. But yeah, no, I haven't had any of those issues. I mean, I'm usually up late at night anyway, so most of the time I help people out. And yeah, it's just a question of, but when you decide, listen, you want to take some personal time, then put it away, get to that person tomorrow. Like William said, if you're not in the right mind, don't talk to anybody.
That's true. That's true. But you're like, so if anyone needs help, please message Orchid.
Okay, so what are you gonna say? I'm not gonna sleep again.
But yeah, guys, William, thank you for sharing your heart. Like, I've learned a lot, and I hope a few of the members have learned a lot. Orchid, thank you for sharing your heart, and I just want to commend you in front of the community for really helping out and really playing a vital role in SuperAgency. And I really admire your heart and your commitment towards your family. And yeah, like, I really truly appreciate you helping with some of the things, the technical things, and yeah, like, I truly appreciate that. And that's one of the reasons why I've had to make you a coach, because that's the kind of quality I'm looking for. I'm not looking for someone that's just there to kind of figure something out, to make a sale here or there or that. Like, I'm really like, I really I don't know what's the right word, but I'm wanting to build something for all of us. I'm wanting to, if you are helping out there, if you're contributing with value, like I want you to be part of this thing. I want you I want to put you in a position where you can also inspire and help and live out your heart.
Yeah, it's basically a very nice community that we're building, and it's a lot of nice people. I mean, everybody is awesome. Yeah, we haven't had, well, yeah, I'm not gonna. We don't know exactly what. We haven't had any issues after that, but yeah. I mean, it is a nice community, and everybody is nice, and it's nice to help people. It is nice. I mean, it's like what comes around goes around, and that's my main feeling, and how I basically see it is I like to help people, and
So I truly 100% appreciate it. But William, I'm like really excited to see your journey unfold with SuperAgency, and also just watching what you're up to. And I really think there's really amazing things that you're going to accomplish. And I'm really excited about seeing how you use SuperAgency, and also the impact that you're going to have in the community, and like having right now. And I love your values, I love your morals, and I really think we're going to walk a very far path.
Thanks, guys. Same this side. Hey, very much. Like I say, in any industry, there's a lot of people. I mean, I'm not going to hamper to, but there's all these groups, you know. But then you ask a question on the group, and there's like thousands of people on that group, and no one answers your question, because they're all too afraid of, if I share too much, this person will take a client away from me. There's enough people in the pond for us to serve. And I think that's a difference that I'm experiencing with you guys. It doesn't matter what. I mean, Okker and I are about 10 minutes away from each other's drive. I mean, we've never met in person, but but he's always willing to assist. And I mean, it's the kind of culture that you're just starting to build, and already have built through this group. It's something that you want to be part of,
definitely, but truly appreciate it. But guys, thank you so much for making time available for this call, and giving some insight for the users. I greatly appreciate it. I know this is one of many. But guys, thank you so much, and have a great evening.
Cheers, everyone.
Thanks, William.